The first thing you need to know is about the new config file parameter, global.keystore. So this is a global parameter for AutoUpgrade. And in your config file, this will tell us where to look to find your TDE keystore or wallet. Initially, it's going to be a password protected keystore, but you can configure it to be auto login if you want. So that parameter I mentioned, global.keystore, it's simply a location on disk where that file is located. Here you see an example of it being located in the operating system, and the permissions on that file are pretty restrictive. It's a 600 protection mask, so only system gets access to it, not group, not owner. What goes into that key store? Well, you've got two things. You've got your set of passwords that you provide for access to your TDE encrypted databases, but then there might be Oracle managed and Oracle created passphrases or secrets that are used for things like external clients, like say Golden Gate, that needs to connect to a database to extract or apply changes to that database. Now, you could have multiple sets of credentials in there. You could be upgrading multiple databases on the same system, all using the same key store, for example. So how do you load the parameters or the password for one database? You use AutoUpgrade with the -load password parameter. That will get you into the TDE console or command line interface where you can add a TDE password for a particular database. Beyond that, you can manage your entries in this wallet because, as I mentioned, you might have multiple databases being upgraded on the same system. So you could add more passwords. You could delete passwords when you're done upgrading that database if you want. You can list the passwords that are available and so on. And of course, there's built-in command line help. So there are two layers of passwords here, and this is where often using encryption can get a little confusing. So we have a password for the key store, which itself has passwords stored within it. So if you have a password protected key store, then you have one password that protects the key store itself, and then you have loaded database passwords into the key store. You can get rid of the need for that first password by configuring as an auto login key store so that you don't need a password to open the wallet itself. In order to do that, you again use AutoUpgrade with the load password parameter. And then all you do with the TDE console is you type save, and you'll get the option to convert that wallet into an auto login wallet or auto login key store. That will be that cwallet.sso file. So the password protected one was the e-wallet.p12 and the auto login in cwallet.sso. And from that point on, the wallet will just open when needed. So the last bit of advice I'll give you on the setup phase is to protect that auto login key store. After all, this is the keys to your kingdom. Your TDE password is in there. And what's the point of having an encrypted database if you don't protect the encryption keys themselves? You need to protect them against both malicious and accidental loss or misuse. So the malicious part, you want to have appropriate protections on the files. You want to make sure that you're auditing access to those files so that if someone unexpectedly accesses the key store, you know who it is and when and why, for example. And in terms of accidental damage, well, of course, you want to make sure they're backed up and protected just like you would any database file.